Hey Virgo, I hope you're doing well and welcome back to your channel, Virgo. Um, Virgo, the wait is almost over. Years of watching others succeed while you struggled in obscurity. Years of planting seeds that seemed to rot in the ground instead of sprouting. Years of believing you were built for abundance while living in the gap between what you knew you were capable of and what your bank account reflected. Years of holding faith when every external indicator suggested you were delusional for thinking wealth was coming. That long, brutal, character-forging wait is reaching its conclusion. And what's about to emerge from all that patient endurance is wealth on a scale you've imagined but haven't truly believed would manifest. Not comfortable, not well off, multi-millionaire. The kind of money that changes your family tree, that erases debt from your bloodline, that creates generational freedom, that makes "can I afford this" a question you'll never ask again. And it's not 10 years away. It's soon, closer than your doubt wants to admit. So let's explore this. What's been building during the wait, why the timing is now, what multimillionaire actually means for your specific path, and how to prepare your entire system for wealth that will arrive faster than you can process. Take what resonates here. This is about massive financial transformation approaching. You remain in control of your choices, always. This is simply an invitation to understand that your waiting wasn't wasted and your breakthrough is imminent. Let me start by acknowledging the wait itself, because it matters that you understand why it took so long. You weren't being punished, you weren't forgotten, you were being prepared. Multimillionaire status isn't just about having money. It's about having the wisdom, character, and infrastructure to keep money, to multiply it, to wield it responsibly. And you couldn't have handled this level of wealth 5 years ago, 3 years ago, even 1 year ago. The struggle taught you things. How to survive with nothing, how to create value from thin air, how to maintain integrity when you were desperate, how to keep working when you couldn't see results, how to stay humble when pride was all you had, how to give even from scarcity. Those lessons weren't punishment, they were preparation, building the vessel strong enough to hold what's about to pour in. Now let me talk about what multimillionaire actually means in your specific context, because this isn't abstract future wealth. This is concrete, imminent manifestation, and it's coming through specific channels already forming. For some of you, this is a business you've been building finally reaching critical mass. Sales exploding, clients flooding in, revenue multiplying month over month until the numbers stop making sense compared to where you were 6 months ago. For others, this is an opportunity landing in your lap, an offer you didn't seek that pays more than you thought to ask for, a partnership, an investment, a role that comes with equity or profit sharing, someone with resources recognizing your value and attaching their money to your talent, a door opening that you didn't even know existed until you're walking through it. For some, this is intellectual property paying off, something you created years ago suddenly gaining massive traction. A book, a course, a product, an invention, something you made and released and almost forgot about, suddenly generating revenue streams that don't require your active labor. passive income that builds while you sleep until it's producing more than you ever made actively working. And for a few, this is investment returns, something you put money into when you barely had money to put. Real estate, stocks, crypto, a startup, something that seemed risky but your intuition told you to do anyway, and it's about to pay off in multiples that transform your net worth overnight. Let me ask you something. Have you been feeling the shift already? Opportunities appearing that feel different than anything you've experienced before. Conversations happening with people who operate at levels you've aspired to but never accessed. Doors cracking open that lead to rooms you've only observed from outside. Energy moving in your projects or career that feels accelerated compared to the previous years of slow grinding. If yes, those aren't random. Those are early indicators. The first tremors before the earthquake, the scattered raindrops before the downpour. Your multi-millionaire reality isn't forming in some distant future. It's forming now, right now. In the conversations you're having, the deals you're negotiating, the systems you're building, the wealth is already in motion. You just can't see the full magnitude yet. You know what I'm picking up on most strongly? The speed at which this will happen once it starts. You've been conditioned to think wealth building is slow and gradual. And sometimes it is. But sometimes, after years of foundational work, everything accelerates. One deal leads to 3 more. One success creates visibility that attracts 10 more opportunities. One breakthrough removes the ceiling you didn't even realize was there. So don't expect this to unfold slowly. Don't expect incremental improvement. Expect rapid transformation. Expect your financial reality to look unrecognizable 12 months from now compared to today. Expect to be explaining to confused friends and family how this happened so fast when actually it took years of invisible preparation followed by sudden visible explosion. Let me slow down here, because I need to address the resistance you might be feeling, the voice saying, this sounds too good to be true, or things like this don't happen to people like me. That voice is trauma from the waiting, from years of hoping and being disappointed, from trusting timelines that didn't materialize, from believing breakthrough was close only to face more delay. That voice is trying to protect you from disappointment by lowering your expectations. But that voice is wrong. Multi-millionaire status is absolutely possible for you. Not because you're special in some exclusive way, but because you've been preparing for it, because your skills match market needs, because your timing is aligning with opportunity, because divine coordination is real and yours is happening now. So when that doubt voice speaks, acknowledge it. Thank it for trying to protect you. And then choose to believe anyway. Choose to act as if this is real. Choose to prepare as if wealth is coming, because the difference between people who receive their breakthrough and people who miss it is often just willingness to believe when belief feels risky. Drop a comment if you've been waiting for financial breakthrough for what feels like forever. If you've been holding faith through years of nothing making sense. if you're tired of being broke while knowing you're capable of so much more. Because I think many of you are in that exact space, at the end of the waiting, at the beginning of the receiving, and you need to know you're not alone in this transition. You know what else I'm sensing? The way this wealth will arrive is going to feel inevitable in retrospect. Like, of course this happened. Like, all the pieces were obviously moving toward this conclusion. But right now, from where you're standing, you can't see the pattern. You can't connect the dots. You're still in the mystery of not knowing how it's going to work out. But when it does, when the multi-millionaire reality materializes, you'll look back and see the clear path, the divine orchestration, the way everything had to happen exactly as it did to bring you here. Let's sit with this for a moment. What if the reason it took so long is because the wealth coming is bigger than what you were originally asking for? What if the universe was calibrating not just to give you financial comfort, but to give you generational wealth? What if the delays were about making sure you were ready for millions, not thousands? What if you had to wait longer because what's coming is larger and requires more preparation to steward responsibly? Because that's often how divine timing works. The bigger the blessing, the longer the preparation. The greater the responsibility, the deeper the character forging. And multi-millionaire status carries responsibility. Responsibility to manage wealth well, to not let it corrupt you, to use it in ways that create good beyond just your own comfort. And you needed to become someone who could carry that responsibility. Now you are. Let me offer you practical guidance about preparing for this wealth. First, assemble your team now. You're going to need a good accountant, a financial advisor who works with high net worth individuals, possibly a lawyer for contracts and protections. Don't wait until you have the money to find these people. Start researching now. Start conversations now. Build relationships with professionals who can help you manage what's coming. Second, educate yourself about wealth. Read about how millionaires think and operate. Learn about investment strategies, tax optimization, asset protection. Learn about the psychology of wealth, how sudden money changes people, how to maintain relationships when your financial reality shifts dramatically, how to give strategically, not to obsess, but to prepare. So when money arrives, you have frameworks for managing it wisely. Third, practice wealth consciousness now. Start thinking like someone who has millions even before you have them. What decisions would you make differently? How would you treat time? What problems would you delegate? What would you invest in? Practice making decisions from abundance instead of scarcity. Train your mind to operate from the reality you're moving into. Fourth, clarify your values around money. What do you actually want to do with multimillionaire status? Not just material acquisitions, but impact, legacy, contribution. Write it down, get specific, because when the money comes, you'll need that clarity to guide how you use it. Otherwise, you'll just spend reactively or hoard anxiously without actually utilizing the resource for its highest purpose. Fifth, strengthen your character now. Work on humility, on generosity, on staying grounded, on maintaining genuine relationships. Because Wealth will test all of that. It'll reveal who you really are, and you want to be someone whose character gets stronger with wealth, not someone who gets corrupted by it. Let me ask you one final question. What will multi-millionaire status actually change for you? Not just externally, but internally. Will it make you feel finally worthy, finally successful, finally able to rest, finally able to prove to everyone who doubted you that you were right all along? Because if you're looking to wealth to provide internal validation, you need to do that work now, before the money comes. Because money doesn't fix identity issues, it amplifies them. If you don't feel worthy now, having millions won't make you feel worthy. It'll just make you a rich person with worthiness wounds. So do the internal work parallel to the external preparation. Here's what I want you to understand about the timeline. When I say very soon, I mean within the next 6 to 18 months. That's the window where the majority of this wealth manifestation will occur. Some of you will see the beginning of it in weeks. The first major opportunity, the first significant deal, the first proof that this isn't fantasy, and then momentum builds from there until within a year to a year and a half, your financial reality is completely transformed. So this isn't distant future. This is imminent, close enough to touch, close enough that you should be preparing now, actively, practically, not just hoping, but actually positioning yourself to receive and manage what's coming. Take what resonates from this reading, leave what doesn't, and remember that you remain in control of how you prepare, of what you do with wealth when it arrives, of who you become as you transition into multi-millionaire status. After long waiting, you will become a multi-millionaire, and this will happen very soon, not because of luck, because of the convergence of your preparation, your timing, your skills, and divine coordination all aligning simultaneously. The waiting forged you into someone ready for this, and now the universe can release what it's been holding. Trust your inner knowing. Trust that the wait wasn't wasted. Trust that you're ready for this even if you don't feel ready. Trust that multimillionaire status won't destroy you because you were built for it through everything you survived. Trust that your breakthrough is closer than your doubt believes. Thank you for being here. Thank you for holding faith through the long wait. Thank you for being someone who can be trusted with significant wealth. You're exactly where you need to be. At the end of preparation, at the beginning of manifestation, on the edge of wealth that will redefine everything you thought was possible. I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Keep believing, start preparing, and get ready for your entire financial reality to transform. Because after all that waiting, your time is finally here.